What's up everyone? Welcome to the channel again. It's Leo. If you haven't been here before, I teach people about real estate and investing. So let's get into today's topic. What I'll be talking about is your wife or husband an asset or a liability? And I'm going to be explaining what each one is right after this. Alright, so we're back, so let's get right into it. So what's an asset and what's a liability? Well, an asset is something that brings value to your company or yourself, right? And a liability is something that takes it away. So I'll give you some examples of assets and liabilities. So assets are cash, investments, inventory, office equipment, machinery, real estate, cryptocurrency. These are things that actually pay and bring value. A liability would be like bank debt, money owed to somebody, cars. They're not assets really. Taxes that you owe, these are all liabilities, right? So debt that's not good debt. There's good debt and bad debt. So now that we talk about what an asset and a liability is, if you stick to the end of the video, I'll tell you exactly how I'm doing this and if my wife is an asset or a liability. So now if you're in a relationship, now I'm together with my wife, we're together 20 years since 2001. My wife is a great person and I love her to death, and I'm very fortunate to have someone we're a team together. And that's very important. So whether it's your wife or your husband, these are things that you have to talk about, and you need to really be congruent with finances and whatnot. So if you're with someone and they spend a lot of money and they're not conscious of what they're spending and they constantly are just buying things, that's a liability to you. Now it's a little different if they do have a job. If they have a job and they can pay for these things, that's great, right? So they're actually an asset to you. So both of you guys can put your money together and you can buy a rental or something like that. But most of the people who get divorced are just not on the same playing field, and it's really pretty much either about cheating on them or about money. And majority of the times what couples and people who are married have issues is because of money. Like I said, it's very important to have someone, whoever your partner is, that's on the same playing field as you. Like if you have the same dreams that you want to be a millionaire or you want to retire, that's very, very important. So things like, even if you have similarities, that you guys have the same ideas of going to the gym and working out and raising a nice family, you guys communicate to each other and actually build your empire and your assets together. And like I said, I was very fortunate with me. She's pretty good and she's a team player and she does these things. So now let's say if you're with someone and they're saying, they always want to go out. They're always telling you, hey, listen, why are you always working on certain things, or why are you doing YouTube videos, or we have to go here, we have to buy a car to show off to this one. Then I would consider that person bad news and a liability, because they don't understand that you have to sacrifice in order to accomplish certain things and better your lives. So I've seen it day in and day out, and let me tell you, getting divorced sucks, because if you built up all of this money and all this wealth and all these assets over all of these years, and then all of a sudden she cheats on you or something happens and you guys don't get along and you gotta liquidate everything, it's very hard for someone who's divorced to come back, unless you're Jeff Bezos. That's a possibility, right? Like Jeff Bezos got divorced and I think he got richer. So he's he's one of the odd ones out that actually became more rich. So you have someone like that, or Bill Gates. We're obviously not Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, but at the end of the day, you want to just be careful of who your partner is, because they really they're a team, right? Even if the person is raising your kids, that's an asset to you. And just to make sure that they're actually on the same level. Now, when I met my wife, we both didn't have anything, and we actually got along really well. And we had the same dreams and the same aspirations, and we both had the same goals. We want to have a good job, we want to retire, we want to have kids, we want to have a nice house. We want to always had that general mentality of you have to work and sacrifice to see the end goal. You want to enjoy life too, and you want to have a good time while you're going and doing all these things, because it's pretty much, everyone says, oh, you're looking at the end goal. It's the process really that's enjoyable as well. So no matter what you do in life, you're gonna have to pay your dues and sacrifice and to get to that goal that you want. So, and it's the same thing with real estate. Real estate is an asset, and you fix a house up and you work on yourself. Same thing like me. Like I started working out like a year ago and I'm almost down to 10% body fat. I hired a trainer. It's the same thing. Anything you do in life, you have to work, fix it, and improve it over time, no matter what you do. Whether it's real estate, it's your relationship, it's your car, whatever it is, there's always room for improvement to fix and to better yourself. So be very wary of who you marry and who you team up with. Even in business, it's another tough one. But you want to see, is that person an asset or a liability? Like my wife, she goes to TJ Maxx, even though that we're well off and we're good. She doesn't go out and buy $2,000 spa days, and she doesn't, buy 5 Louis Vuitton bags a week and rack up $20,000 a month on credit cards. Like that's really, really, really important, because even though when you get to that level that you're making good money, you don't want to be spending it on BS. You want to still live below your means and make sure you have enough for the future. And you want to also instill stuff like that into your kids, because that's really important. In this day and age, we're in high debt. Everyone doesn't want to work. Everyone looks at the rich guy who he has money. But at the end of the day, it's really about living below your means and really understanding what there's for a give and take and what to sacrifice and what to show the future generation on doing. Because now everyone can just click a button and you can order stuff easily, right? I mean, when I was growing up, I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have a smartphone. I had a flip phone. I had one of those Nokia bricks, which I actually still have. I'll show in another video. Like I keep all these old things and I show people that when I was starting out, I didn't have that. Like I started learning how to do things through books. I actually went and I bought books, like back in the day, just to fix my car. Like I bought a Chilton's manual at Arna Strauss, and I read a book to know how to do brakes. And if I had a problem or question, I would ask my dad's friend who was an auto mechanic on, hey, listen, I ran into this problem and the caliper won't come off or the bolt is seized. Like there was no YouTube search. Like you guys have a lot of opportunity now just to pick up your cell phone and do searches and ask people. I mean, you could ask Google, you could ask whatever it is, Alexa, whatever the case is, and you can get answers, and that's very powerful. So everyone should be using the internet. People who have experience, find someone you want to live like or mimic or idolize, or someone you want to be like, and follow what they're doing and ask them and pick their brains. Because right now we have the ability to look at so many different type of people with the cell phones and the internet that it really makes things a lot easier and it cuts down time. Because the older you get, you want to kind of reduce the amount of time that you spend on doing things. Like I said, I've been very fortunate, and it's really up to you to find the right person. And if you're dating someone or you don't know, like you should have these conversations. It's very important, because when you marry someone, you're with them forever. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.